Hello everyone, in this video we are discussing exercise 1.4 from class 11th NCERT physics chapter units and measurement. Moving forward we have, so the question says explain the statement clearly. To call a dimensional quantity large or small is meaningless without specifying a standard for comparison. In view of this, reframe the following statements wherever necessary. So in simple words, this question is saying that saying large or small is an ambiguous statement if we don't have any reference or standard of comparison. So there should be a reference over which a value is either large or small. So a reference needs to be necessary in order for the comparison for large or small, or we can say the magnitude of the quantity. So here the first statement is atoms are very small. So here small objects. So here small doesn't stand correct word over here because there is no any reference stating that small with respect to what. So small may be 1, small may be 10, small may be 1000 meters or nobody can say that small relative to what. So we can reframe this sentence as atoms are very small as compared to that of a basketball. Atoms are very small as compared to that of a cricket ball. Atoms are very small as compared to maybe a ball of a ballpoint pen. So it can be stated in a multiple ways. All we have to do is find a reference over which we can compare the smallness of this atom. So moving on to the next statement, we have a jet plane moves with great speed. Here again great is referred, but there is no any reference over which we can compare the great speed. So here we can say that plane, obviously a jet plane moves at a greater speed than that of an ant, a bicycle, normal commercial car. So we can reframe it in that way. Now the third statement says that the mass of a Jupiter is very large. Again there is a word called large, but with reference to what has not been mentioned. So we can compare the mass of a planet to be large as with respect to any household object or any other thing, because the mass of a planet is humongous with respect to that of maybe ourselves or any smaller planet we can assume as compared to that of the Jupiter, but it can't be said without any reference that how large the mass of a Jupiter is. So let's say that mass of a Jupiter is very large as compared to that of a cricket ball. Now the fourth statement is the air inside this room contains large number of molecules. So air inside room contains large. Here again there is no any comparison over which large number which states that large based on what. So we can assume that this room contains maybe a box, and box contain air itself. So maybe the number of molecules in the box compared to that of the whole room, obviously the number of molecules in the whole room is much larger as compared to that in a small box that is in the room. So we can say that the air inside this room contains a large number of molecules as compared to that of a box in that room. Now a fifth statement is the proton is much more massive than an electron. So this the mass of a proton is compared to that of an electron. So here this statement need a reframing. So it is comparing the mass of a proton as with respect to that of the electron, and obviously the mass of proton is much large as compared to that of the electron. So here the reference is the mass of electron, and the mass of proton is compared and it is higher. Now the speed of sound is much smaller than the speed of light. Here again a smaller word, the speed of sound and speed of light, these both speed is compared, and the reference is speed of light. So the statement is saying that speed of sound is much smaller than that of speed of light. So we have a reference here and we have a comparison word here. So this sentence is also correct. Thank you for watching the video. Hope you have benefited from it and got your doubts cleared. If you want to request solution for any of your questions related to physics class 11th and 12th, you can ask your questions on Facebook at page facebook.com/physicsclasseslive, or also you can ask it on our website, that is www.physicsclasses.live or www.physicsclasseslive.com.